takeoff, of course, started at the beginning of last century with the British, of course, bringing the game. But as far as we are concerned, we as indigenous Ugandans, it really took a root when Prince George Mawanda then formed the African Cricket Club in 1948 and gave us chance as indigenous Ugandans to play the game, which had before been played by, of course, mainly the Asians and the Europeans, English. But from 1948 onwards, Africa Cricket Club was formed. That's when we sort of had a chance to play cricket at high level. Now, when the Asians were expelled in 1972, we had to take it upon ourselves to transform the game from a club level, which it was on, ACC, to a national level, because now we are no longer playing as ACC, a club, but we are playing as Uganda, and that's when it really took off in 1972. We used to play amongst ourselves more often, but then it was thought that we could go out. And that's when we started in 72 to try and we toured England in 72 as a team chosen from the three associations, and that's how we came in. Because I had been playing for ACC at that time, and among our competitions, our local competition, because we play our local competition, the league and what have you, and then we play against Kenya and Tanzania in what we used to call the East African Championships and what have you. So that's when they spotted me and said, well, why don't you? I mean, then they chose me. In 72, we used to play in front of a lot of Asians. Before 72, a lot of, but mainly the spectators were Asians. I used to play against Kenya and Tanzania, and Ugandan would be full. But you cannot compare that kind of crowd with the kind of crowd you get when you play England. I was lucky that I had an elder brother who had played with them before, the late Dan Kigozi, and he's the one really who introduced me to the game even before I went to Primary 1. Because when we used to come back, we would play in our backyard, and this is how I started. He taught me how to bowl, taught me how to hold the bat, and so on and so forth. So when I went to Budon in Primary 1, I had already had some idea. When I was young, even before I went to senior school, I had a chap who was in Budo called Robert Sozi. And I thought he was a brilliant bowler. He was not quick, but he was a left-hander. He went from Budo and then went to Nyakasura, and a great friend of mine. So as a young man, I used to try and bowl like him, even his style. So when actually I had that operation, I had already practiced bowling left hand. So it was not a big deal. But there was an agricultural show which had been put in Lugogo. So Lugogo was unplayable at that time, up to 84. 84 we decided to move to Lugogo and bring it, and we literally, dug up Lugogo, took off this, cut the grass and so on and so forth, laid the beach and so on and so forth in 84, led by a young man called Chibuka Msoke, because he had just finish his engineering at Kennedy. But anyway, we brought back together. When we came to Lugogo, we had to form clubs so that we can have a competition. So that's when we formed clubs. That's when the Tornadoes came, the Wanderers, Indo Park, we did call it Indo Park. But of course it changed later on, and so on and so forth.